So the amazing thing that I see happening, it's very, no, it's interesting because my ex-husband would always tell me, you're so black and white. With you, there's no gray areas. And you know, you have to have a range. And I was like, well, that was a big argument between us, because I was like, well, if I think this is true for me, then it's either white or black. And I think it's false for me, that's either white or black. There's no shade of truth. It's not, it's like being pregnant. It's like, are you a little bit pregnant or are you a lot pregnant? It's like, no, you're either pregnant or not pregnant. There's no in between, right? And so there's so many things that people love to find the whole range of. It's like, if something is true, it's true, and if something it isn't, right? But people seem to be wanting to find a range of half truths, or adapting the truth the way it conforms to their moral or the lack thereof, right? So people love the shades of gray because they can manipulate things to go their way, and they could be like sort of true but not really. But if it's convenient, it can be true, but if it isn't, it won't. And it's, at this point, everything is becoming so black and white. It's like it's either really good or really bad. There seems to be no range of sort of, kind of, right? And I don't know if you felt it in your days. Like there are days, even in different aspects of your day, some things may be going really terribly and some things may be going really wonderfully. And somehow they're beginning to coexist. And I've been saying for many, many years that heaven and hell are right here, right now. And we can step into heaven or step into hell, depending on the choices and the decisions we make. And so at every moment, we're getting that new opportunity. Also, the veil is really thinning, and the portals are looking, it just seems to me that everything's looking clearer, especially for those of us who are doing the work. How are you all doing with everything that's going on? Are you guys feeling aligned? Are you guys feeling off? Are you guys getting taken over the emotion of all the things that are happening? Because I see a lot of people breaking down because it's so overwhelming, right? Like with this war thing, people are just like, I can't take this anymore. Like we've gone from a pandemic straight into a war. And some people can't see the plan that is getting just like executed in front of our eyes. So when you have no clue that it's a plan and they're doing this on purpose to do exactly that, it's very easy to fall prey to it. But so tell me, how are you all doing in terms of dealing with what's going on with your personal life? If this whole thing is affecting you, what's going on?
No, I've been very, things have been crazy weird, but I'm just releasing, like, I'm just letting it go. And it seems like the more I release control over whatever the hell's happening around me, the easier it is to navigate it. So
yes,
yeah.
That's exactly it. How about you, Julia and Sarah? Are you guys there?
Let's see, they're typing something right now.
Yes, I'm waiting for the chat from Sarah.
No, it's been pretty intense, but the more that I resisted that intensity, the crazier it became. So I've just had to, it is what it is. Like today I wore giant 4-leaf clover things on my head. I've got 4-leaf clover pants on, and I'm like, just gonna ride with it.
Right, exactly. And that's one of the things that is going to be and has been, the more we connect to that surrendering and feel it in our energy and in our bodies, it's because you can really feel it when you let go, right? It feels like a weight lifts off your shoulders. All of a sudden, wherever you thought you could have some sort of say or some sort of control over a situation, and you understand at a visceral level that that is a lie, and that the more you try to control it, to shape it, to pretzel it into a box, it's like, this is how it should be, this is my expectation of it, and really just, it's almost like a throwing your arms up in the air and saying, okay, you take over, because I just, whatever I do doesn't work. Because we're also conditioned to keep trying and keep finding a way out, and it's like, well, if you find a challenge, you can just go over it, around it, under it, figure out a way around it. And so we try to do that all the time. And then the more we push, the more this thing will push back at us. The more we try to jump over it, the taller it gets. The more we try to go around it, the wider it gets. The more we try to dig under, the deeper it's gonna go, right? Because it'll just be that equal force. So the more we fight it, the more it gets strong, right? It gets bigger. And then we fight it more, and then it fights us back, and it's like, it's exhausting. And then it can be very discouraging, because we're fighting, we're exhausting ourselves, and none of it is happening the way we would hope, expect, or pray would happen, right? So we keep getting thrown these curveballs that are completely unexpected, like things that are happening right now, and the quickening of them is, I find it very, very disconcerting at times. It can make your head spin. Like things can be going in this one direction, and all of a sudden, right? I don't know if I told you about my house, that I sold it in 3 days. Yeah, it fell through because the guy who did my roof ripped me off, and there was a leak, which is interesting. So they found the leak, and the lady walked away from the deal, which I would have done myself probably, because she has cash and she can buy anything she wants. And she went into doubt, and she thought, well, if they told me the roof was fine and it isn't, what else are they telling me that's fine and it isn't, right? So she went into this pattern, and she walked away. From my end, I was like, what the heck happened? I was so upset at the roofer. But then I started thinking, wow, it was a leak. And that meant the house was crying. And that meant the house is sad. And it meant the house doesn't want to let me go. And that's a feeling I've had for a long time. It's like when I get there, it kind of just grabs me and doesn't even let me go out. It's very interesting. And so I'm like, well, my house is sad. Now I have to go back home and console my house. Now I have to go console a house. This is so weird, right? But then all these things are happening. And it's like, okay, so what if I had the cash? How quickly is my money going to get devalued with the impending crash? Should I actually be selling my house at this point because I didn't sell it last year? Should I be selling it? Or is spirit, God, whatever it is that keeps my heart pumping and my blood flowing, actually protecting me from something? I don't know, but we'll find out, right? We will know eventually, sooner or later, probably sooner than later. And if the house doesn't, oh, yeah, I'm glad you're back. Oh, how is she?
She's okay. I guess she was in a lot of pain but the doctor gave her like better pain medication, and now they're sending her for like scans of her head and stuff. Yeah. Oh, she's 95, but she acts like she's way younger. You'd never guess her age, but her knee is like bone on bone. And I guess
Like
it
my
gave
mom.
out and she fell and then hit her head and her ribs. So,
Oh,
and she hates going to the hospital.
of course.
So,
Yeah, it's
but
just like my mom's knees, right? The bone on bone
yeah.
situation. But we can regenerate that. So we can talk about that at one point.
Awesome. But
so
yeah,
how
thank you for asking.
now I have you here. Tell me how it's been for you. Has it been I mean, I can already tell it's probably been a little crazy, right? With weird stuff happening, like out of the left field and stuff.
Yeah, last week was kind of interesting, like but overall it's okay. I'm excited because we're going to Toronto this weekend. I feel like I'm going on like this big huge trip, but it's only a 5-hour drive. Because I'd like to say I manifested that the Vax Pass wouldn't be in effect for the concert Andrew and I booked a year ago, and it isn't. So we're able to go to our concert, and we're able to go out to a restaurant we've been wanting to go to together. So yeah, I'm celebrating that.
Fantastic.
Still can't leave the country, but I think we're the only country that still has restrictions to let people in and out. But that's
well,
because
the
of our
US has
presidency.
restrictions in terms of vaccinated people. Like if you're a foreigner, you have to be vaxxed.
Right, but I can't even leave. Like I can't leave my own country. You know what I mean? Like
I know it's crazy.
Crazy, but anyway,
okay.
I trust and believe that will eventually pass too.
Yes, definitely it will, because we're envisioning it.
Yeah,
we're envisioning it, and this is one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about. But have you been able to hold your center through the craziness?
Overall, I would say yes. Oh, sorry. Now there's someone here. But fuck. Okay, maybe I take that back. Okay, I'll be back.
It's okay. Julia, how are you doing?
Just got home. I'm all dressed for St. Patty's Day.
Beautiful. Beautiful. How's it going? Is the craziness affecting you?
Well, I find it more with the kids, and I find I get overwhelmed really easily, and I cry a lot easier, and I just get, I don't have as much patience as I normally do, so it definitely feels like a lot going on, and I'm nervous about the kids going back with no mask. Like I'm excited that they're lifting the mask mandate, but I think it's stupid to do it right after March break, because every other year during the March break, the kids end up not going back to school. Mm-hmm. Like the last 2 school years haven't been a full school year because of COVID. So now you're telling me when there's this huge outbreak in China again, you're going to send all the kids to school with no mask. And my kids are like, well, if the other kids aren't wearing them, then I don't want to.
Mhm.
you know, so
You
kind of
know, I
anxious
was
about that.
really worried. I was really worried because they lifted it for our schools. And for the first few weeks, most of the people wore masks. But then as the time has gone on, pretty much everybody's taking their mask off. And I couldn't even tell you the last time we had a kid test positive. It's so weird. It's like
Really?
all of a
That's
sudden
good.
nobody's testing positive right now. And it's like, okay, this is interesting, but it's I just wanted to tell you that
Okay.
it's working out here. It seems to be working out here. So,
Well,
so
that's good.
and the kids love it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the kids are fed up, you know, it's not
Yeah.
fun doing gym class with
Too
masks and
much.
stuff on.
Too much for them.
Yeah.
And I think we should focus more now on mental and emotional health. Because it's been too long of something that has been imposed on them. And it's, many of the kids kind of understand, but they don't understand. And nobody really knows the full scope of this whole thing. Right? And so many things are coming out. So much more information is coming out now. And it is, you know, so many people, I mean, some people are getting accused for crimes against humanity because of this whole thing. And when it all comes out, it's going to be so, I think some people are going to have a really tough time dealing with it, because especially the people who have not questioned the narrative at all, when it's put in their faces enough times that there was something fishy going on all along, and they'll have no choice but to really consider a different point of view. I don't know how it's going to go down. I don't know how it'll play out. I don't know if people are just going to go, oh, let's just ignore it, pretend it didn't happen and just move on, or, oh my God, we were betrayed. Right? And frankly, I don't know which would be worse. And we just have to wait till it plays out, because we don't exactly know. But we can affect our own life's narrative. And we can envision the reality we want to see. Okay? I've had so many amazing things happen within my family. Things I never in a million years thought could actually happen. And I will tell you about it on Sunday during the equinox ceremony that we're going to have. But it's been so amazing and so so contrasting. Like, things that seem to be really, 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 really bad are going on, and things that seem to be like a miracle, like true miracle, are going on at the same time. And they're happening, and they're hand in hand happening. They're enmeshed in each other. Sometimes I can't even see where the line ends, and it's like, this seems terrible, but I feel so blessed. It's like, how can this be happening and be so terrible, and at the same time, how can I be feeling so blessed? It's almost like, at one point, it's like, I just don't understand how I can feel that way when I should be feeling sad or depressed or hopeless to whatever's going on. No, you can't have any more treats. I'm sorry, you've had enough. So some of the things that had happened, like, for example, I'll tell you a quick one about Pico. We've been working with the trainer, and she's amazing. Still, we're having issues with the barking, but it goes in waves, right? But yesterday I took him out for a walk, and when we came back, after a while, my mom's like, something's wrong with his leg. And I saw he was bleeding. And so he must have got his, you know, the little nails that come out on the side. Some of the dogs don't have them, but some do. He has them. So one of his nails got stuck somewhere or something. I don't know, and it broke, and it was bleeding, and he was hurting. But he wouldn't let me touch his legs because he has issues with that. No, I'm not going to give you more treats. Enough, not more. So I managed to put peroxide, but he was shaking all over, got blood all over the place. It was just like crazy. And finally it stopped bleeding, and I just let him be. And he was licking his leg pretty much all night. And then this morning I just called the vet and said, we need to come in because you probably have to sedate him. And so we go to the vet, and I did what my trainer told me. So instead of taking him in the car and have him be all crazy, we walked there. It's like 8 blocks. So it was like, I'm just gonna walk him there, let him just release and be fine outside. Then we had to wait. So he had to meet all these dogs, and he was fine. He wasn't barking. He wasn't attacking. It was so nice. And then we went into the doctor, and they had to put a rope around his, like muzzle him and put a thing around his neck. And then one doctor had to like flip him on his back. And I was like, the trainer told me not to let them do this. They're going to traumatize him. And they would touch his nail, and he was screaming in pain. He doesn't cry. He's not a crier. He was screaming in pain. And I was like, my baby. Finally, he takes the nail out. It's like done. And the dog just went like the pain. You could see him almost with a sigh of relief. It's like, oh, it's not killing me anymore. Then they gave him a shot. He cried like crazy with the shot. But then they gave him back to me, and he was just like happy. He was no longer in pain. And it just like shifted him. And we walked home, and he was so happy. And I had taken a bag of treats, because now we have all these treats, right? I know, one more, fine. And so I was like eating them with him, and the doctor's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh no, I make these for my dog, but I make them for humans too. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, try one. So I give him one, and he goes, hey, this is pretty good. And so he starts eating them, to the point that he liked them so much that I left him the bag of treats. I'm like, here, have the rest. He was laughing so hard. He's like, where'd you get this? I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I bake them every week. He's like, they're so good. I go, yeah, with a little coffee. He goes, you don't give your dog coffee. I'm like, no, for you. So he just was telling everybody, he was sharing the treats with everybody that walked in. It's like, you want a dog treat? They're so good. He starts eating them. He thought it was so funny. And so we walked out, and Pico was walking like, no, I'm so happy. Before, if he had some experience that was shocking or hurtful like that, he would literally go back into his shell. And this time we had such a breakthrough that he was able to connect. He's really smart. So he was able to connect. I was in pain. Now I'm not. So this had to happen for me to not be in pain. Now I'm not in pain. I'm happy. And he was able to just move on. And it was such a wonderful feeling to be able to provide that level of comfort for my dog, even though he had to go through that experience. Because I could have let him have this painful nail for a few days until it fell on its own, but why, right? And so when we begin to put the energy and our focus, it's so important on the things we desire without any attachment, things begin to change. So what I'm going to ask you to do is we can start, and it's so funny because I've been thinking of doing this with of asking you, okay, what do you want to manifest that or actualize or have become real, right? Be in your reality, be in your experience that would make you very happy. It could be something small, it could be something big, but I thought, well, let's start with something small. And then today I was on my coaching call with my coach, and she's like, well, why don't you every morning just decide unexpected money or unexpected, well, she said unexpected love. And my first thing is like unexpected money, right? Because all my checks apparently are now lost in the mail. Literally, they're not arrived. They've not arrived at Noel's house. They haven't arrived at my house. Royalty checks that should have gotten there like in 3 weeks ago. Who knows where they are? Like, I no money coming. Thankfully, I have some savings and I'm able to just finance myself through this pump plus because the money's actually coming. And so it's like, I'm just going to replenish it, but it's just this weirdness that's going on. And my coach was like, where are you out of integrity? Sometimes we have leaks where we've said we're going to do something and we don't, and it creates energetic leaks. So the other thing that I've always said, that life is like a merry-go-round. Sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. But when you're up, you should remember the times when you were down, so it doesn't overblow your ego, right? It doesn't just make you arrogant. It kind of keeps you humble. But when you're down, you're the down part of the merry-go-round, which is more like a spiral, but you can get the picture, right? You're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. But when you're down, you can always remember the times when you were up, because you know that this too shall pass. And eventually you're going to hit that wave again and you're going to be up again. So it's always good to remember that. And also, as we're navigating these times, as we keep our center, we're co-creating the new reality that we want to experience. We're really important in the whole mix. And the more we have decided on what will be, then that's what is, and will eventually show its face. Like, I believe firmly that once we've made that decision, but the real decision, not the pseudo decisions that we make sometimes. Like, I am going to start my diet tomorrow, for real, I've decided. And then tomorrow happens and it's like, okay, next Monday, because I don't know why people decide that starting a diet is better on Monday, as opposed to right now when we decided, but Monday seems to be a good day for starting a diet. And if you actually look at the Farmer's Almanac, it will tell you the best day to start a diet. It'll tell you the best day to gain weight, depending on the lunar cycle. So if you're ever interested in starting a diet and have the lunar energies support you in that, why not do it on the best day possible, right? Why wait till Monday? What if Monday is a day of gaining, putting on pounds? It's like, and then you're fighting against the current. And see, the more we go back to traditional ways, the more we understand how effective they are. And how things like electricity and technology and things where humans try to become God throw things off for us, because they don't follow the cycles of nature, right? It's like we have our period. It's like it happens on the day it happens for a reason. It doesn't it might seem to you that it happens on a random day, but if you look at the lunation and where you are in your cycle and who you are as a person and when you were born, there's so many factors, but like even your cycle happens on the day that it's divinely appointed. It's not just a random accident that happens. And if we all move into a house together, eventually, pretty quickly, our cycles will all align. We'll find that our cycles get aligned with each other. That is what happens with sound, right? That's the entrainment. Where if you put grandfather clocks in a room and you start the pendulums at different times, you go dun, 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 whatever, you walk away, you close the door, eventually you'll come back and those pendulums are going to be swinging in unison, period. That is the entrainment. And that's why sound works so well in our cells, because it entrains the cell to vibrate at that frequency when it has that force in it. And the willingness and our willingness to receive that frequency and align with it, right? So by the same token, can you please stop? Pico, I know your friends are getting all excited. Here, have this. So when we make a decision about something, the real one, the real kind where you feel it in your entire body, in that moment, I believe that that thing that you've decided happens. It's already happened. Now it's a question of the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, orchestrating the maneuvers for it to get to you. Right? It's already the idea, the concept is already out there. It's, imagine if you, like when you're, okay, so for each one is different. Let's say for Stacia, if you're going to make a painting. For Sarah, if you're planning an event, right? For Julia, if you're creating, what can we do for Julia? The multifaceted Julia. What can we talk about that would excite you? Okay, when you see yourself releasing 50 pounds, okay? So you each have your thing, right? When you make that decision, when you've made it in the past, you've like, do you see the finished product? Or you start preparing it in your mind? Even if it's not the finished thing, you can imagine it, right? Like if you're gonna paint a painting, you have to know what you're gonna paint. Now you desire to release 100 pounds. That is wonderful, but decided, okay, I decide to release 100 pounds. And so when you make that decision, you see yourself 100 pounds lighter. What do you look like? You envision it, right? And Sarah, when you plan an event, you see the whole thing come together at the end, even though it might have different details and it may not come out exactly like you envisioned it, but chances are it's going to be pretty close to what you envision. Now, it may not happen on the timeline that you expect or whatever, but eventually, by the time you're done, this painting, this event, this weight release, it's like it's going to match your vision, right? And then when it's done, tap into that feeling of the accomplishment of it being done. You all know that feeling. You've all experienced it, right? When you walk in and the bride is just like, oh my God, crying because it's so beautiful, because your vision, you executed your vision, or your beautiful painting and somebody just gets so moved by your painting, or somebody gets so inspired by your weight release and your discipline and your ability to follow through, right? So tap into that feeling and draw it to you. And imagine it's two magnets with different polarities that are really bringing each other together. It's not this one pulling hard or this one pushing or this one, right? They're both attracting each other until they actually come together in one point in what we call time, right? And so what can you choose or decide to have, right? Right now, think of something that you can say, oh, I decide this, I'm having this, right? Pick one thing. Like I can tell you that something that happened, I was with Eunice. Remember, you all remember Eunice? So I was with Eunice before the holidays. We got together here. She's in Mexico City. And we got together and we spent the whole morning together. And at one point I said, I'm gonna go fly in a balloon. She's like, really? Where? I'm gonna, I heard they fly over Teotihuacan, over the pyramids, so I'm gonna go there. And she's like, when? I don't know. Oh, how's it gonna happen? Who are you going with? I'm like, I don't know. I just know that I'm going because I decided that I'm going. And so the day of my birthday, when I posted the video, I got a message from her saying, it is so amazing to have experienced this with you, where I met you, and then like we got together, we met in person, and you said, I'm gonna go do this. And then all of a sudden, you're actually doing it. She was like, I wasn't really expecting you to do it. It was like, yeah, nice conversation, whatever. It's like, and you meant it. And I'm like, oh yeah. It's like, you'll notice when I say, oh, I'm gonna do this, that one way or another, it's gonna happen, right? So pick something that doesn't have to be earth-shattering, right? But something that would just be like proof of, yeah, I made this decision and it happened. And I know a lot of people are for putting a date to it and say, by this date, this thing has to happen. I don't know if it works for you. It doesn't really work for me. When I put a date on it, I just put so much pressure on myself that I sometimes take myself out of the game, and I cannot easily surrender to spirit because it's hard for me to trust that it'll happen on the date that I decided. I don't know how it is for you guys, you can share. But whenever I put that date, it's like that people tell you to put a date on it, and it's like, ah, and then I stress myself so much that it's like, oh my God, I can't enjoy it. You agree, Sarah? Yeah. I'm like, I just don't enjoy it because I'm just like terrified that it's not gonna happen. And then what happens is I'm sending out into the universe, it won't happen, it won't happen, it won't happen, it won't happen on that date. But then what I do is I'm canceling out all of my, I've decided to have it energy. And then it just, and then I wonder why not only does it not happen, but somehow it just going in the opposite direction. Because what I'm putting out there is that energy of fear of, oh my God, how is it going to happen in this short time, or whatever it is the date, even if it's a year, right? It's like, I can do it with an event. Like if this person, like when I did my dad's homage, like I knew it had to happen on this date because I had the hotel booked and stuff. But at the beginning, I didn't know when it was going to happen. I allowed it to kind of work itself out. And then when I said, well, I want it around this time, then it kind of just, you fine tune it. But if you start with a date, I think it just like, it completely throws me off. So if you want to do it with a date, that's fine. I can't, because it'll just wreck my whole experiment for myself. It's like, I know, it's like I already am doubting you. So anything that puts doubt in your being, whenever you have whatever's showing up in your life, you'll be able to determine what energy was stronger in the moment. Because if it's not showing up and you doubt it, then you can easily pinpoint and go back to, oh, my doubt was stronger than my determination or my decision to have this. Right? And that's when that doubt, that's why I say that doubt is a killer of dreams. Because it's just like, yeah, I doubted it, and like poking a balloon with a tiny little pin. You're gonna get a teeny little bear coming out, but eventually that balloon is going to be deflated. So in order to keep that faith strong, so what can you decide now that you're having, that you're just gonna have it in divine timing? For example, I can safely say that Sarah's trip is one of those things. She decided she was going to have it. No idea when, because things in the moment looked like, well, that's a pipe dream, right? It's like, how is that gonna happen? When I left the States, I said, when I come back, all the restrictions are going to be done. And 2 weeks ago, I got the all clear from Philadelphia. Now I just got the Barclays thing in New York, which is only going to get better. Where at one point, they were trying to pass this thing, this, I don't know what it's called, this law in New York, where the government could decide that if you were infected, they could put you in an institution and decide what treatment you should have. And they were literally trying to pass that through Congress. And so many people were like, no, we're not having this, because we're not going to have concentration camps like ever again. It's like they were in existence and the whole world condemned it. Now we're going to have them in our own backyard. It's like, no. And so I think that law is now, I think it was bounced around a few times, but I think at this point it's been annihilated, and I hope it has. So as we decide these things, and don't decide, and you can, but I would like for you to decide on something that if it happens, because it will, it'll be great. But if, God forbid, you have doubt, it's not going to devastate you. Right? So don't do something that if it doesn't happen, you're going to be devastated, because what we're doing right now is exercising our muscle. It's like we're going to the gym, and we're not going to start with lifting 100 pounds, right? Or even 25 or 50 pounds. We're going to grab our 3-pounder or our 5-pounder or our 8-pounder, right? And we're going to be like, and after some reps, we'll be, I'm burning. And I'm like, lifting 8 pounds. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to die. We're not. But let's start with the 3 or the 5 or the 8 pounds instead of trying to start with a 75-pound weight. Okay, so pick something. And then what you're going to do is you're going to phrase it as I am having, or I have, or I am having, whatever resonates with you, or I am, and not having just the thing, right? Become that thing. If you're, for me, it's always so easy to go back to money because it's so tangible and it's so easy to explain it, right? So let's say I am unexpected money, or I am $5,000. And when you say it out loud, and say this thing out loud, right? And if you're saying it and you feel the truth bumps, that means you're aligned. But if somewhere in your body it feels like a little icky, or something like closes down, could be your throat, could be your heart center, could be your power center. Notice, start becoming keenly aware of your body and where you're feeling the feeling. Okay? So if it doesn't feel good, then go, well, what would feel good to me? Really feel good, where I could totally believe that it's going to happen without any shadow of a doubt. Even if you decide to do it $1, or just say unexpected money and see what happens, right? Don't put a cap on it, or don't put a limit on it. Because isn't it lovely to be surprised? Okay, so as we start to practice this way of having things and deciding things, what happens is we are also strengthening the space for these things to happen, our container. And remember, we're talking about the vessel, right? If our vessel is empty, we can fill it up with our good things. If our vessel is filled with junk, then there's no space for the good things to come in. So as we're choosing these new realities for ourselves, we'll continuously be cleaning out the stuff that no longer serves us. Okay. I have to share that I've gone back to taking voice lessons, and today was my first official voice lesson with with Scott Evans Davis. Scott Evan Davis. He's the guy that I always forward you the stuff from, especially you, Sarah. His humor he's so sarcastic, he's funny, and he is such a sweetheart, and he is the most wonderful voice teacher I could have asked for right now. His humanity, his like skill sets are amazing. His ability to explain things, and it's just been like, it was like I called in my soulmate teacher. I called in my soulmate coach. I've called you guys in from a long time ago, my soulmate friends, because at this point, I just consider you my dear friends. And today I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm creating this world that I've always imagined I could have, with the people that I imagined, the quality of people that I imagined, and it's actually happening. Like, I actually have it now. And it was like, holy cow, right? I'm even mending my nieces, but I'm mending my relationship with my brother. Like, we hugged yesterday. Like, we shared a hug. I was like, what? I left there and I was just like, I could feel myself walking on air. Like, I was not, like, my feet weren't touching the ground. And I don't produce tears, but if I could have, I would have been crying all the way home, just with the emotion and there's like, oh my God, miracles happen. When we weren't even crossing two words, like, hey, that was it. Because whenever we had to be in the same room together, right? And now it's like, we're hugging. And so I can tell you that anything, if that's possible, now dead certain that anything is possible. And so this is, I want you to have that. I want you to have that certainty every day, where that doubt and the fear and the, oh my God, how am I going to come up with the money and the thing and the kids and just everything that goes on in our lives. It is my intention to have us become so much larger that anything that shows up just reduces in size. And it's like, oh, I can handle that. I can handle that. As opposed to the feeling of, oh my God, I'm buried under a mountain of, and I'm just like, it's called overwhelm. And the peak of overwhelm is on top of me. It's like, we don't have to have that anymore. And I know it because I've been methodically and conscientiously planting the seeds for it at every moment where I saw an opening for kindness, for love, for non-judgmentalism, which that's a big one for me because I can easily go into judging everybody. It's like, I'm perfect and everybody else is an idiot. And no, right? So what part of us is the part that leads sometimes that we're not too proud of, right? So what is your part, right? Is it like being bossy or being judgmental or being selfish or whatever it is that you feel that that's something that you'd like to just not have in your life because it would feel like it would make your life easier, right? So pick that one thing, and if it's like judgment, do the judgment diet. I keep telling you guys, I don't know if you ever did it or not, because it's so easy to just go, yeah, I'll do it. And then it's like, you do it for the first 5 minutes, and then it's like, you go into judgment, and it's like, nah, I just think I'll just skip it, right? It's that decision. So let's all go on a judgment diet from here to Sunday. Okay, it's the equinox. So as a lot of people are doing detoxes, right? It's the springtime to do a detox, to go into the summer, to fit into your bathing suit, whatever it is, right? Why don't we do the detox from judgment? Because that, I have found that every time we actually do it has created such openings for transformation. And it really will help us get our launching pad into the world that we are creating, you know, and as we keep working on it, things will become easier and faster the moment we decide. So also, before we go into our sound healing, I wanted to share with you, I'm sorry, baby. I wanted to share with you that I decided that we're going to do this meditation thing, just us. I'm not going to bring any beginners into it because I wouldn't want to bring you guys down or set you back with beginner questions or things. So we're just going to keep it. If you're in, Sarah said she was in, I don't know if Stacia you were in, I'm going to keep the old price that you had, that you all had. I'm not going to do the 528 or anything like that, or the 111 that is going to be, that's what I'm going to charge for the next round that I'm starting in April for everybody else. For you guys, it's the price that you had. I can't remember what it is right now, but if you want to pay it in payments, pay it however you want. I'm cool, you know that, and I'm fine with it, but I wanted to honor you all, and I wanted to make sure that I give you still all the attention that I can while we're in this time, because we've gone through these 2 years together, and right now I feel like we're about to go over that hump. It's like we're gonna go over it, and then all of a sudden we're gonna go wee. And I just want us to go through it together like we've been doing, because it's so exciting to see it. And it makes me so, it just lights me up so much. And I enjoy your company so much. And I just decided that if I brought beginners, it was gonna get all muddy. And I'm working on my stuff with my coach, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it calmly and do this thing. And I'm just allowing myself to be guided. And I'm like, but I don't wanna move. I don't wanna like ruin what we have by bringing external people right now that are not at your level, basically. So yay, we're starting on Monday. Woohoo! And we'll figure out the times. You could give me guys times if you rather do it in the morning, the evenings, whatever, because now it's a daily thing. We will have perhaps 1 or 2 days that we're not gonna do, because I'm gonna be in Nashville and Noel's gonna be in court. So one of those days, like we'll work around that. So I just want to make sure that I'm fully present for you guys, but I also want to be fully present for Noel. So I know with you guys, I have that trust that I can tell you this is what's happening and can you work with me, and I'm sure it'll be fine. So if it isn't, let me know. But I can safely say that I think you're gonna all be fine with it. So yay. And on Sunday, we're gonna have our equinox ceremony, because that's going to set us up for starting on Monday, on the 21st. It's gonna have us cross the portal. And my intention is that we have even more ease than we've ever had. And we have more normals happen in our life, like all the things that we've been kind of struggling with after we didn't meditate for a while in a consistent way, right? So this will bring us back on track and back on the, because I think we all need a little bit of in our lives, right? Just that feeling of, I'm okay, I'm at peace, nothing bad is happening. Everything's good right now. It's like, let's just hold that bubble for ourselves. Okay, so for now, what we're gonna do today with our sound healing is we're literally going to clean and empty our vessel. So start taking deep breaths and allowing that release. And as you breathe in fresh air or Clorox, or whatever it is that you need to clean, preferably organic and natural stuff. Probably Melaleuca, just natural cleansing. Imagine water just flowing through your system and washing away anything that is in the way of your new reality from flowing in with ease and joy. And so as you close your eyes and imagine with me that okay. So as you close your eyes, see and feel the water flowing and washing away gently with ease any resentments, any anger, any repressed feelings. A lot of the times we try to be politically correct and sensitive and sensible, sometimes being so keenly aware of other people's emotions and needs can create a bit of a pressure cooker within us, because we don't feel free to express ourselves because we're so empathetic to the needs of others that we put our needs last. And although I understand that there's different ways of expressing ourselves, and we should be aware of how we express ourselves, we should really make sure that we don't get all pressured up inside, holding on to stuff that is toxic for our emotions, for our bodies, for our soul. So as it's all getting washed away, feel that crystalline clear water, leaving even sparkles behind, leaving all that open space for wonderful things to flow in. So as you begin to feel squeaky, squeaky clean, if you haven't chosen your decision, go ahead, do it now. Come here, baby. Ay, tepe, 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 tepe. Free feel the alignment. Feel every cell in your body be like, yay, with this decision. And if you feel something out of, ask, what do I need to adjust to be in full alignment with my decision? And ask the universe to show me. Show me the path. Show me where the next breadcrumb is that will take me to my desire. Allow your desire to begin to live within your vessel. It is from here that our desires will begin to emanate and actualize into this 3D world that we chose to embody at this time. So breathe it in. And now detach from the outcome. Give it the space, the environment, all it needs to grow. And then just know that it will grow. Now feel how from your heart love pours over your desire. This decision you've made in full alignment with your being. Take a few cleansing breaths. Simply connect beyond the noise, the sounds, the dogs barking. Beyond any chaos. That peace that we all hold within is getting stronger and stronger within us. And when you're ready, begin to wiggle your toes. And bring yourselves back gently and lovingly. Take a deep cleansing breath. Let it all go. And shake it all out. And do your little stretch. Notice if your whole energy feels squeaky clean. And then place your bubble of protection around you. Honoring that sacred space within. And we're back. Well, that was interesting. I find that sometimes our meditations, I've realized that when they go all crazy, it's that reflection of the world around us that's actually happening. And it's like, what are we choosing? Are we choosing to get yanked back in there, or are we choosing to stay in our center and allow the craziness to happen? So be it. Right? Because it just, the energies around us are like that. And it's so easy to get pulled back into that energy. But we're getting higher and higher, and the divide is getting wider and wider, or higher and farther. We're going like that. All right. And the thing is, we're finding, I don't know, have you guys let go of a lot of people in your lives? Is it getting like scary at times? Like, or is it like, well, I knew I had to do this, and it just, the universe just, I wasn't doing it, so the universe took care of it. Right? It's like, you know it, but you're trying to navigate or be diplomatic and be loving and be all, universe took care of it. Yep. It's like, if we're not going to do what we know we need to do, then it's going to happen. sooner or later, it's gonna happen. And the thing is that if we follow our gut and do it, a lot of the times it's not as traumatic as when the universe takes care of it.
There it is. If you're going to take it off, Gabby, I suggest you put it where. I'm just going to put it in the safe spot. Come here.
I forgot that I put it on there.
Julia's like, because they're like coming at her, right? So a lot of the times it's like I've known that I've had to let go of some relationships, and I was like, oh, it's pressing the snooze button. It's like, oh, let me take it a little further because I love this person, because I'm looking for the best in them. And it's like, finally the universe goes like, no, it's done. It's been done. It's like, it was done when you knew it was done, and you're just like prolonging the agony. And it's just, it's not good for you. It's not good for it's not good for the relationship. It's not good for the other parties involved. And it's like, it's sometimes so hard to let go, right? It's like we're carrying these garbage bags around. And it's not that the people are garbage or the relationship is garbage necessarily. It's just that it no longer serves us because we have progressed and we've moved on to a different path. And who knows, we might encounter each other again at some point. But like right now, it's the time to let go and choose to let go painlessly, without all the drama and the thing. It's like, I'm just letting this go. And as we let that go, like I've let go of so much that I thought, okay, I have nothing else to let go of. And there's always something else. But even when you feel like, okay, I've let it all go. And then the magic of feeling the new experiences coming in, the new people, the new relationships, it's like, oh my gosh, had I known, I would have let go sooner. It's like, but no, I'm trying to drag the people along with me. It's like, come on over. I have something really cool over here, and trying to force them. And it's like, we must keep reminding ourselves that we're all in our individual, unique path. So I love you all so much. Stacia, go to sleep. I'm so tired. I love you all very much. I love you all so much. On Sunday, I was thinking of doing it in the evening at this time, if it works for you, if it's good. Hi, Julia. So I don't know if that works for you guys. 8 o'clock on Sundays, 7 o'clock for you, Stacia, because now it's 6 o'clock for me because we didn't change the time. And if you have any questions, any comments, you can go ahead and say it now or forever hold your peace. Oh, okay. Okay, wonderful. Have a wonderful trip. When are you leaving? Tomorrow or Saturday morning? Oh, tomorrow morning. Yay! 3 days. That's awesome. Oh, enjoy it. I feel the truth bumps. That is amazing. That's wonderful. I haven't been to Toronto in a while. That's wonderful. There used to be a place called Green Jeans or something. I don't remember. It was such a long time ago. What did you say? At your open mic? Yeah, that's so fun. So fun. Enjoy yourselves to the fullest. And yeah, your mic was open just for a teeny bit because I think the kids were, but but just now because the kids were talking to you and stuff and you probably hit it by accident. So no worries. It's all in divine order. Put it on
Oh
now.
my God, I think
Absolutely. Thank you, Sarah. Absolutely. So, and let me know if you guys want to do it in the evenings. If it works better in the evenings for you, or if you guys want to do crazy mornings again. I'm open to either. I'm excited about it, and I know I just feel the openings for us as we really recommit to this going within, and I can just feel it. All right, my loves. Julie, are you doing okay? Oh, Gabby wanted to show everyone her earring. Oh, she got her ears pierced today. What a brave girl. Show us, Gabby. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Wow, what a brave girl. Beautiful earrings. Congratulations. So beautiful. I love your bun too. So gorgeous. Yeah, I remember having my ears pierced, but I wasn't as lucky because they didn't have the little machines. My aunt did it with an ice and a sewing needle, and it didn't go so well. My ears got infected for about 3 months. I couldn't get rid of the infection. The infection just went all up. It was a mess. This extra one I had done when I was 19. What?
I pierced my second one when I was 12 with a safety pin, an ice cube and a safety pin myself.
It is the things we do for love. It's like,
And then my aunt let me do her ears.
yeah, but at least you're a nurse. Well, my aunt was a nurse, actually. The
I
one
was
who
12
did it.
years old. I wasn't a nurse at that time. I was a kid.
You were
I did-
12 and your aunt let it do it when you were 12? She's got, I mean, I wouldn't let a 12-year-old pierce my ears.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, there's some guts over there.
Yeah. And I took her to
Oh.
get her, I took that same aunt to get her nose pierced for her 60th birthday.
That's awesome.
I'm a bad influence on her.
That's awesome. All right, you guys, have a wonderful evening. Sarah, enjoy yourself. We're going to be cheering for you this whole
Have
weekend.
fun
This
in
is
Toronto,
awesome.
Sarah.
Have fun, and all of you have fun. Make some choices, make some decisions every day. And it's like, I'm gonna just have unexpected fun. How about that? Sounds like a good plan right now for all of us. All right. I love you. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.